Hey, sixth graders. I'm going to keep this really short and simple. I just saw most of you on Zoom yesterday, so don't forget we have another Zoom lesson tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'm going to actually be doing a lesson tomorrow. I want to hit some math with you, and I want to do, I have a science thing for you guys to do. We're going to start talking about genetics. Thank you to those of you that have already commented on the teams and done that. I just off the top of my head, Jaden, Ryan, Havana, Jarrett, Sammy. Sorry if I'm missing anybody, but those are just the ones off the top of my head that have already commented on that. So thank you for doing that. Today's thought of the day: it's better to ask some questions than know all of the answers. That is absolutely true, especially in the field of science. Scientists, I always tell you guys, scientists are asking questions. That's like their job. Their job is to ask questions and set up an experiment to answer that question with given evidence from their collected data, right? Okay, shout out to everybody that joined the Zoom meeting yesterday. Thank you so much for doing that. We had decided that we were going to do Tuesdays and Thursdays from now on. That does not include spring break. Spring break is completely off for you guys to do what you need to do. What your parents have you do, that's up to them. But I will not be assigning anything for you to do. Please make sure that you're checking your email every single morning before 10 a.m. Or at 10 a.m. At least. That is how I'm going to be communicating with you guys. So that's my main source of communication. I've got it on my phone, I've got it on my iPad, I've got it on my computer, I've got it on my gaming computer, I've got my email is literally everywhere. That's absolutely the best way for you to get in contact with me, okay? I don't always have my phone on me, I don't always have my computer on me, but I always have one of them at some point, okay? Even if I am just at home all day. Sometimes I leave it on the other side of the apartment, so, or outside. I left it out on the patio when I was watching the rain today, so Charlie's going crazy right now. There's probably somebody out there. But Charlie, say hi. No, this way. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, what do you see out there? What's out there? I don't know. He's looking at something. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted. Hey, make sure that you're logging into your Edulastic accounts. I don't want everybody logging in on the same day and like not remembering their passwords and stuff. Let's be proactive, not reactive. Okay, that means getting behind it, getting things done before you need it, so that you're prepared. We are, like I said, we're going to start our genetics stuff tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Okay. Did anybody do an obstacle course today? I'm interested. Nobody sent me any pictures or anything. Was it a dumb idea? I don't know. Like, send me some feedback, okay? I want to know what you guys are thinking, and then of course watch the news. So yeah, okay. Let's get into this book. We're almost done. I'm gonna take a drink of my protein shake real quick. I just finished a workout, so all right. Here we go. When I came up to the tree, I thought little Ann had treed old Dan. He was sitting on her hunches, staring up and bawling at the tree. There, a good 15 feet from the ground, with his hind legs planted firmly in the center of the limb and his front feet against the trunk of the tree, stood old Dan, bawling for all he was worth. Above him, some 8 or 9 feet, was a baby coon. I was glad it was a young one, for if it had been an old one, he would have jumped out. Old Dan would have followed, and he surely would have broken all of his legs. From where I was standing, I could see it was impossible for old Dan to have climbed that tree. It was dead. It was dead in more of an old snag than a tree, with limbs that were crooked and twisted. The bark had rotted away and fallen off, leaving the tree bare and slick as glass. It was a good 10 feet up to the first limb, and couldn't figure out how old Dan had climbed up that tree. There had to be a solution somewhere. Walking around to the other side, I saw how he had accomplished his feat. There in the bottom was a large hole. The old tree was hollow. Stepping back, I looked up and could see another hole, with which had been hidden because of old Dan's body. He had simply crawled into the hole and through the bottom, climbed up the hollow tree in the middle, and worked his way out on the limb. In some way, he had turned around and reared up, placing his front feet against the tree. There he was. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't cut the tree down, and I was afraid to climb it for fear I would scare the coon into jumping out. If he did, old Dan would jump too and break his legs. I ran plan after plan in my mind. None would work. I finally came to the conclusion that I had to climb the tree and get a hold of the crazy dog. I blew out my lantern, pulled off my shoes and socks, and started shimmying up to the tree. I prayed that the coon wouldn't jump out. Inching along behind it as quiet as I could, I made it up to old Dan and grabbed his collar. I sat down on the limb and held him tight. He would bawl now and then, and all but burst my eardrums. I couldn't drop him to the ground. I couldn't climb down with him. I couldn't sit there on the limb and hold him all night. I would be no better off when daylight came. Glancing at the hole by my side gave me the solution to my problem. I thought, if he came out of that hole, he can go back in. That was the way I got my dog down from the tree. This had its problems too. In the first place, old Dan didn't want to be put in a hole head first. By scolding, pushing, shoving, and squeezing, I finally got him to start down on his way. Like a fool, I sat there on the limb, waiting to see him come out of the bottom, and come out he did, turning around, bawling as he did, right back in the hole he went. There was nothing I could do but sit down there and wait. I understood why his voice had stopped for a while. He just took time out to climb a tree. Putting my ear to the hole, I could hear him coming. Grunting and clawing, up he came. I helped him out of the hole, turned him around, and crammed him back in. That time, I wasn't too gentle with my work. I was tired of sitting on the limb, and my bare feet were getting cold. I stared down the same time he did. He beat me down. Looking over my shoulder, I saw him turn around and head back for the hole. I wasn't far from the ground, so I let him go. The flint rocks didn't feel good on my feet when I landed. I jumped to the hole just in time to see the tip end of the long tail disappearing. I grabbed it. Holding on one hand, I worked his legs down with my other and pulled him out. I stopped his tree climbing by cramming rocks and chunks into the hole. How the coon stayed up in the tree, I'll never know. But stay he did. With a well-aimed rock, I scared him out, old Dan satisfied with lust to kill. I started for home. It had all the hunting I wanted for that night. That was a short chapter. Okay, chapter 11 is next. So we will start that one tomorrow. Okay, talk to you guys later.